All right, what's up, internet? Just testing. Actually, usually we use OBS to stream, but I've noticed when I do it from my place, nakaka-problema sa servers. And if you tuned into my NFT stream, you could see a lot of that. There was a lot of cuts. Like it would just the connection would drop, and then Sup, iCruise. Sup, Revin Jan. Oh, wait lang. My wife doesn't know I'm streaming. Hang on, guys. BRB. All right, we're back. And again, the primary reason for this stream is that I've been having trouble with my OBS, or rather OBS connecting to Restream, which is a service that we use to connect or to stream both to Facebook and YouTube at the same time. Yun nga, nagkakaproblema yung server, and I'm super annoyed. And it's been a long it's been an issue with me for a while now. So I'm trying to see if using the studio feature of Restream will have a better connection. And also I wanted to see if this works. Yon. So parang they also have a feature na I can highlight text. For example, Reverend John's latest message, if I buy a PSU, baka naman pwede na personal deliver, Kuya Anton. Depende if you're on the way. Like that last guy was sort of on the way kasi malapit siya. Although it is a running joke between Reverend John and I na, he'll like, oh, what di pwede yung personal delivery? And I'll always be like, kasi hindi ka on the way. But one of these days, if you really are on the way, it would be my pleasure to drop off any order that you have. So this feature where you can sort of highlight text is looking pretty good. I mean, it pops out nicely over there. I'm still getting used to the interface. Again, I'm used to using OBS, and this is the first time using the studio feature of Restream. And uh like I'm used sanay ako na makita ko kaagad like how many people are tuning in from Facebook and how many people are tuning in from YouTube. I can't see that here. Oh, okay, wait, okay, I figured it out. 16 from Facebook and only 3 from YouTube. Na usually baliktad. Okay, so again, yeah, it's just a test stream. I told you guys to ignore it, but for those who didn't, thank you for not following my advice again. At least may kasama naman ako dito sa test stream na to. So, first objective to see how well the connection is going. So far, so good. Actually, it looks like there are no drops involved at all. Um, and I want to see like how the different chats look like at the same time. Um, yeah, you notice I'm not dressed up. Not that I dress up usually for a regular stream. Yeah, the video looks okay. I agree with iCruise, although medyo it's rather large. I'm I'm used to our OBS because the default for Restream is 720p. I'm used to our 1080p. Kent, nagpo-pause sa YouTube. That might be on your end. I can actually like people who. So the message I'm replying to, I can actually display it there on the screen. Nagpo-pause sa YouTube. That might be on your end, Kent. Looks okay on my end. At least based on all the diagnostics I'm seeing. I'm also monitoring the stream on YouTube with my secondary monitor. So there, on my secondary monitor we have YouTube, and then on the tertiary monitor we have Facebook. This is my current setup. So it's a tri monitor. The primary one is the Bank 2K monitor, which I use for gaming and my primary display. And of course, super important for work. So useful are multiple monitors. I talked about it on the channel before. So I have an Asus one for the secondary, and there's one here on the Facebook for the third. Well, I like this in vertical mode for like chat and things like that. AM says there's a lag between YouTube and the combined. The new chat scroll box is great. Right? But isn't it kind of di ba medyo malaki? I'm used to my 1080p. Wait, let's bring up the comment from MM. There's a lag between YouTube and the combined. Like anong combined? Like which combined? Uh the combined. Kasi I think I get what MM means. Usually, actually, there's always a lag. We just don't notice it when like I've noticed it before, even with OBS. There's sort of a lag between like what the studio sees, like what I can see, versus what the audience sees via YouTube and Facebook. So parang that's normal naman. Um, okay. So Revin Jan says, you gotta love how hardware sugar fans don't follow simple instructions, right? I said don't yet. Ignore. And look, we have 22 viewers already. That's better than some of my regular streams. And just because of that, of course, we gotta test if it'll show the ad properly. So see you guys after the ad break.
Bibili ka ng PC, most likely kailangan ng Windows. Pero saan ka kukuha ng legit Windows? Daming options, daming prices. Nito.
Buti na lang, may cdkeyoffers.com.
Madali lang ang order.
Search for the software you need, add to cart, daan ka sa payment options nila.
Wala pang 5 minutes, finished! May legit working CDK ka na para sa Windows mo.
Gamitin lang aming code para makakuha pa ng discounts.
Kaya kung naghahanap ka ng legit, mura, at original software,
Hello? Parang the... Okay.
Check out CDK.
Oh man, even with the... Parang the ad is cutting. Well, at least it got to the end. Yeah, Revenjan is right. We do need to update the ad with the new shop. Okay, wait. So the ad cut... Yeah, so parang the ad buffers. Maybe I should have it load. Kasi I can preload the video clip like this one. This is preloaded. Yeah, then it just kind of pops out. So maybe I should do that instead of like a layer. Because like what I'm seeing on the Restream studio is it's like a layer dun sa It's like similar to what OBS has na parang layer. I don't know what happened to the ad actually, but siya nag-cut out. Although I do agree with Revin Jan that we'll need to update this ad with the new shop. If the kids or if the staff are open to that, and to be fair, they really the sponsor was just like parang can you just update the ad with some stuff. No, sorry, the sponsor was completely okay with the old ad. Sup? Okay, we gotta get to kaya gusto ko nung this is why I did the highlight chat feature para lang sa mga messages na ganito eh. Sup, Bitoy Kongko. I wish we could meet IRL para masabi mo yan in real life. But jokes aside, I do miss our reunions. I hope sana next year, even if COVID's supposed to become endemic, but at least sana next year makakita naman tayong lahat mga O-boys. But yeah, isn't this new chat thing great? Like I can just choose the message and then it'll get highlighted. So one of the features I wanted to try, again, at least this is a lot better than some of the other streams that I tried to run through OBS and then through Restream, where it's always cutting. And I'm always apprehensive when I do a stream from the house. Na oh my god, is it gonna cut out again? And it's so embarrassing to the audience. And I know it's frustrating. You're building up an audience and you're getting your steam up. You're talking about whatever crypto or NFT or something, but but and then napuputol and it kind of you lose momentum. Jed, Posible has a question. Who's that dude in the glass behind you, friend? Uh that is me. I think that's just my reflection in the that's a sliding door, glass sliding door. So I think see that's just me. So no friendly ghosts that we need to exercise during the New Year's. Um so yeah, that's basically about it. But you'll notice the nice thing about OBS, which I can't really do with the Restream Studio, is there's a lot more customization. Like I can load a background, but just the actual position, like how big my camera is, and sup, Cyril, YouTube, hello, hello. And the size of the chat is so large, man. I'm not used to. So yun nga, sanay ako sa 1080p. Although baka nga this is a better configuration. Yeah, Jed. Oh, sanay na. Like I know what's happening in the background. So ano, I was not scared. Although I do have a nice picture which I'll post. I was in an office recently and biglang may lumitaw na medyo ghostly presence. I'll be posting that on Facebook in a couple of days. But yun medyo nakakatakot. But yeah, the guy in the back is very familiar to me. Um, yes, I'm not used to a lot of things about streaming through the Restream Studio instead of piping it through OBS and then through Restream. Like I do love the highlights, the chat highlights, but I'm not loving this very large text. Although I do appreciate that it's much easier now for people to actually read and follow along with the chat rather than the 1080p format that we usually have where it's quite small. So and then if you were watching in a mobile, it makes it even worse. So so uh so can I show two messages at the same time? I cannot. So I tried to see if I could show Cyril's Cyril's knock knock joke. It's not a knock knock joke, but parang I feel like the setup is kind of like a knock knock joke. But apparently you can only show one highlighted message at a time. So positives about the Restream Studio is that the integrated chat works very well. I've researched other options, but they have most of the other options have a very difficult time of integrating Facebook chat if it's not a personal page. So like the Hardware Sugar is under my account, but it's not considered a personal page. It's a brand page. It's a public page. So a lot of the other options have a very difficult time, if not, or they can't do it at all. In fact, of integrating the Facebook chat uh with the integrated chat. So there wouldn't be an option like that. Pero ito, yun parang okay naman. Shout out from Esmamer Guerrero. Shout out lagi nanonood videos nyo, informative. Thanks so much. We really appreciate the viewers who tune in and the subscribers. Super appreciate it. Oh, Jericho. Familiar face. I hope you're enjoying your day off. And tomorrow. Okay, just to start pala of the 3-day weekend. Sup? For those of you guys who don't know, Jericho is actually our newest staff member. And coming along very well. He's doing a lot of good builds, and I have actually not seen his cable management yet, so I'll have to check in on that. But yeah, Jericho is the new guy that you'll see in the shop. He has actually already made his video debut with us in another video quite recently. So game naman siya. Jed. Okay, so I don't need like I'll read them out, but you can actually follow along. So this is Restream Studio and not OBS being broadcast to Restream pala. Yes, I'm using Restream Studio, pero grabe yung medyo garapalan taga yung money grab ni Restream. So they have different pricing tiers, and then like if I want 1080p, I need a higher tier. If I wanted, I can actually also stream OBS through Restream, but through Restream Studio, but which would allow me to bypass the connection problems I've been having. Kasi parang through Restream Studio, parang okay siya. And then I could also use the integrated app or integrated chat and the highlight thing. But again, that's another upgrade in the pricing tier. So it's I'm a little annoyed, to be honest, that they don't include it. I mean, how much do you need us to pay to get these features? But anyway, yeah, I'm just sort of trying it out. I will be streaming like a real stream tomorrow kung di ako tinamad. Kasi to be honest, may kulang pa kami na one live stream and one gaming stream for our advertisers. The one gaming stream, Rafael will take care of that today, and the one live stream that na dapat yung kulang pa namin. I'm supposed to talk about that tomorrow, like the best upcoming tech of 2022. So we'll talk about DDR5 and the upcoming NVIDIA RTX 4000 series and the 6000 series for the CPUs of AMD. And the 12th gen of Intel, again, the Intel has been quite bad for the past 4 generations or so, but the 12th gen is coming along quite nicely. So that's one tech of 2022 that will be quite hot, which is already available now. So super. That's what I was supposed to talk about in the stream yesterday. Pero kung tinamad ako, like, wag mo na lang sabihin sa advertiser and I'll just say yeah, this is the stream. And then, so I displayed the ad already and everything. So I mean, I'm saying so like I'm technically compliant already, or Hardware Sugar is already technically compliant with the deliverables. If I count this as the stream, the last live stream of 2021. So to make it more informative, we have a question from Adamson from YouTube. Bakit ang daming may addict sa RGB? Um, well, it's easy to medyo parang look down on the RGB crowd and say na wala namang performance gain yun and what's the point, puro aesthetics lang yun. Pero and my rig, if you've seen my rig, my rig is very old and it has no RGB. But okay, what the heck, let's show the old girl once again. So here is yeah. This is the back because again, for long-time viewers, they know that my power button is not working. Inarbor ko yung isang 3080 from the shop. It's a Zotac twin edge, I think, and that's the only RGB you can see. The yellow, the amber light is from my Mobo, and that's just to show that it works. So there is a very old PC. I have it like in an open case now because again, my power button doesn't work. So my personal PC does not have RGB, but a lot of people in the store do ask for RGB. And I kind of get it. I mean, it does look kind of cool. You can have it can be used as an indicator for certain things. Like some RGB software, you can set it na kapag mainit na yung CPU or GPU, biglang magre-red. I think IQ has a feature that it syncs to certain games. Like if you're in CS and then you go, kung na-plant na yung bomb and the bomb has been planted, biglang magbabago yung RGB ng setup mo. So they're very limited. There are limited productivity cases where you can argue that RGB or even LCD displays, which are becoming sort of mainstream now for the AIO block of the CPU of the AIO and the CPU, the CPU block of the AIO, those certainly have useful feedback to the user. But siguro 95% of RGB is just for show. But I kind of get it. I mean, it does look kind of cool. It helps set your computer apart and it helps set the mood, right? I mean, if you're into gaming, you're using your PC for work and maybe you have RGB off, but at the end of the day, you want it like magigaming ka na, then you set it to your RGB gaming. So I kind of get the appeal of why some people would look for RGB. And when I do finally actually set up the Rafael Claude Ismael using his abusing the emoji stickers again. So I like when I finally do set up a new personal rig in 2022, I will have some limited RGB in it. Ain't gonna lie, I can see the appeal, even though like 95% of the time it's just silly aesthetics. Hans Fausto has the keys to my heart. Correctly identified the Battletech mech, the battle mech in the foreground, which is a Timberwolf, yes. Or if you're an Inner Sphere, it's the name is Mad Cat. So if you're a long time viewer, I've especially in the live streams, I often talk about BattleTech. one of the sci-fi series very near and dear to my heart. And I'm actually rereading the Battletech books now. Like the last 3 months of 2021, I've just been rereading the old pulpy kind of sci-fi books. The Mad Cat is iconic. Primarily, I think because a lot of people got introduced to BattleTech through MechWarrior 2, the video game back in like 1995, and the opening cinematic, which still holds up very well. Like if you want to YouTube the opening cinematic to MechWarrior 2, it still looks pretty darn good, even 25 years later or so, roughly 25 years later. And it's a Mad Cat, and I think that's why for a lot of people of my generation at least, I think that's why the Mad Cat is so iconic. Kasi yun nga, parang it was the featured mech in the cinematic of MechWarrior 2. Um, Going through the chat again, Mark Luis Royola from Facebook. Nice highlight chat. Yes, thank you, Restream. Medyo malaki nga yung comment section. I know, right? Although yun nga at the same time, parang um, it is helpful like if you actually want to follow through the chat, at least mas kita ngayon. Although personally I do find it kind of large. YouTube, Ivan from YouTube asked, what headset am I using? This is the MH670, Cooler Master MH670. No RGB, but quite a good wireless headset. Yung kwento nito, kasi usually when I stream, I like to go wireless just in case, especially for live from the shop where I walk around the shop and I talk about the builds and the parts and things like that. Agent Disaster clickbait title can't ignore. I told you guys to ignore. Now I'm like streaming like legit. But I'm gonna need to tell Rafael that he can't stream anymore if I pass this off as my 2022, if like the last live stream of 2021. Um, Maybe I will just tell him to stream like tomorrow morning or stuff. So I'm sorry to go back to the question of Ivan. Anong headset po yan? This is the Cooler Master MH670. Let me check that. It is still available in the shit. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Bleep. I I swore because I accidentally almost clicked out of the browser, so that would have ended the stream. Something that would not happen in OBS, which is its separate program talaga. Just to answer the question, oh shoot. I'm actually looking it up on the site on our, and that's what's nice with OBS. Like if I wanted to show you what's on my browser, I can do that. So yes, it is the CM Cooler Master MH670. Yung short story nito. Usually I borrow my brother's wireless headset, which is the Corsair Void wireless. But one time I was at the shop and I forgot to borrow it, and I just got so fed up with like, oh man, I'm at the shop again, and yun nga, I don't have a wireless headset of my own, so ang hirap maghanap nung wireless. Like I'm stuck to wired again, and I don't like wired. Even my mouse is always wireless. So I basically inarbor ko to. Like I stole it from the shop. I opened one up. I haven't paid for it yet, but now I'm using it. So if you like the sound quality, and it's pretty good actually. I'm thinking of doing a review about it maybe in January. It's not bad. It's a very low, no frills kind of headset, but yeah, it works. It's pretty good. Agent Disaster clickbait I can't ignore. I told you guys to ignore. Our Rocky the Programmer, ITX Z690 na mga suppliers natin. I haven't seen any, to be honest. We are looking to expand our Z690 lineup. We currently have DDR5 and DDR4 boards, but they're all full-size ATX. Yeah, we should expand. We're kind of dipping our toes back into Intel, but yes, we will be expanding once they get it. Actually, there's been a lot of demand for the ASUS ones, which we have covered a little bit on the channel. Here's one thing that's kind of annoying about the Restream integrated chat is they can't show emojis properly. So you notice Rocky the Programmer here is using our custom emojis from YouTube, but it doesn't show up properly in the integrated chat, which is kind of corny. It's nice that the YouTube members do have access to the customized emojis, but it doesn't show up in the integrated chat. So actually, it's very complicated to have a successful multi-platform stream. Most people just stream to one platform. Um, but here, because a lot of people do know us from YouTube, but at the same time, a lot of people do also follow us through Facebook, and they're kind of a different crowd. Like sometimes if you know us through Facebook, you don't know us through YouTube and vice versa. So there's a lot of value for us to stream to both channels at the same time. Um, but again, it comes with its challenges. Like most of the tools that work with one platform don't work for the other platform. Tapos yun nga, kagaya nung nabanggit ko dati, I did already find a third-party app that will allow me integrated chat and to do have this kind of highlighted chat at the bottom without using Restream, but it doesn't work with Facebook business pages, which is a real drag. Let me get to the question of Johnny Ives from YouTube. Sulitin na natin tong highlighted chat. You using Restream? Yes, actually we always use Restream, but usually how we use it is na may OBS, and when we pipe our OBS through Restream so that it can stream both to YouTube and Facebook. But now I'm using Restream Studio. Okay. Restream Studio. Restream Studio. Say that 3 times. And that allows me to have this nice featured chat thing, but there are a lot of disadvantages. Number one, only 720p. Number two, not having full control over the layout. You'll notice my camera. This would look much nicer, and if Ren, our editor, is watching or will watch this later, she's gonna get very annoyed with me that I have no background and it's just black, and the camera square is not positioned anywhere. You can do all of that very easily in OBS, but you can't do that. You can have a background, but I haven't configured it yet properly to the square. You can't resize this camera square, for instance. So that is one of the advantages of OBS, really the customization that it allows you to do. You can pipe. Another advantage though is that I've been having problems using Restream kasi palagi napuputol yung connection ko if I use OBS and then Restream. Here though, it's looking quite good. If it's straight through Restream. So that's one advantage of using Restream Studio. Although, Rocket Programmer says na addict si Ren sa Risk of Rain 2. Really? I'll have to, I'll have to... to be honest, I'm not familiar with that build. So, with that game. So, I'd have to look it up. Janos from YouTube asks, personal opinion in regards to bottom-mounted AIO for ITX builds. It's really difficult to find a good ITX case with support for AIOs. So either it doesn't have, or either it's going to be in weird places like at the bottom where, everybody and their mother who counts themselves as a tech, aficionado knows that you don't want it there because it leads to bubbles, and because there are bubbles, it doesn't circulate as well, which stresses out your pump more. Basically, improper radiator placement will lead to a shortened lifespan. So, but I like being, well, di naman contrary, but for me, personal opinion is I would risk it because if you're the type who wants an AIO, you really don't have a lot of options. Although one ITX case that comes to mind that I think it looks really good and has decent AIO placement is the Fantex Evolve Shift, and then they have the Air now, so the Evolve Air, which is the mesh version. That one I think looks pretty good. If I remember correctly, has pretty good AIO support in terms of the positioning. But in general, I would say go for it. Like, that's the only place usually where you can mount an AIO, like in the NR200P. Although I have seen builds where, is it the NR200P where it's side, but it's kind of like jutting out already. So bottom line, the ITX builds can be really difficult, even if you're not doing an AI a build with an AIO, let alone kung may dagdag pa na AIO. So that's the only option na possible. I say go for it. Yes, it might wear out the pump, but you know, a decent AIO will last you maybe 3 or 4 years, even with that improper placement. And even that is just a probability. It's just a possibility, rather. It doesn't guarantee that the AIO will fail right away. Make sure you just don't get the MSI Core Liquid 240R kasi kahit anong placement mo, that thing is a bust. But if you get a good AIO, actually, Rocky the Programmer, in response to this question, did mention that NR200P. But I think the primary placement for the AIO, even for the NR200P, is at the bottom. Although I think you can do a side-mounted placement, but you need to either use a third-party side panel, or like it's jutting out. It's kind of weird. So, but yes, the NR200P would be a good case to try to do that on. But again, bottom line in general, like my personal thoughts, I would say go for it. If you want an AIO, again, it's a lot of people, a lot of tech enthusiasts like to obsess over certain things, like, oh my god, my CPU temperatures, oh my god, oh, you put the AIO placement wrong, you know what, you must have an IQ of 50. There's a lot of things for people to obsess about, AIO placement being one of them. But you know, if you just want a good looking AIO, it won't kill your AIO. It's not guaranteed it will kill your AIO. And even if it does sort of accumulate damage, that's, you know, over, like, maybe, if you're lucky, maybe over a 4-year lifespan, which is probably after 4 years you're going to be replacing stuff anyway. So bottom line, to go back to the question of Janus, I would say do it. You know, if that's what you want, if you want an AIO and an ITX build, and you can only find a case that you like, which allows for bottom-mounted AIOs, I'd say, yeah, go for it. But my caveat here is at least get a 240 millimeter rad AIO. I'm not a fan of the 120 millimeter rad AIOs. Basically, their performance is not great. We used to carry the Kraken M22, which is by NZXT, but we don't anymore. Basically, 120 rads are just not worth the money. And that's something, for me at least, that's something more pressing than the placement, is getting at least a 240 rad so that you're getting proper cooling. The 120 really don't do the job as well as comparable air cooler. So the size of the radiator for me would be more pressing rather than the placement in an ITX build, just because yun nga, parang wala ka masyado talagang choice sa ITX build eh. So if that's what you want, basically, you work within the constraints of that kind of build. Okay, guys, I'm gonna try the ad again, not because I wanna piss you off, like, oh, it's the ad again. I just want to see if it'll load properly this time. So this is a test stream.
Bibili ka ng PC, most likely kailangan ng Windows. Pero saan ka kukuha ng legit Windows? Daming options, daming prices. Baka dito.
Buti na lang, may cdkeyoffers.com.
Madali lang ang order.
Search for the software you need, add to cart, daan ka sa payment options nila.
Wala pang 5 minutes, finished! May legit working CDK ka na para sa Windows mo.
Gamitin lang aming code para makakuha pa ng discounts.
Kaya kung naghahanap ka ng legit, mura, at original software,
Check out cdkeyoffers.com.
It cut out again. I thought it was gonna be like, oh, right there, the checkout CD. Anyway, well, most of you, if you've watched the for any length of time, you've seen that ad probably a couple of times already, so you know how it ends. But I was just expecting like, oh, konti na lang, aabot pa yan, aabot pa yan. Then it cut out. There is a question from Humphrey. Yeah, actually, the chat is quite fast, which is kind of stressing me out kasi, like I want to reply and then I know. This question from Humphrey is, how about GPU liquid AIO po? Been looking for one since my GPU runs the fans at 3000 RPM to keep 65 degrees. So basically, the Humphrey is saying that his the cooling element of his GPU needs to work quite hard to keep his GPU cool. Although 65 degrees is not bad, and I like personally, I would that's very good already if those are your temps at load, and I would be more comfortable. Like I personally would be comfortable with a much higher temps on load, 80, 85 for a GPU. Sup, West Lawyer from YouTube. So just to address Humphrey's question, AIOs or all-in-one liquid coolers are mostly for CPUs. They're meant for CPUs because they're designed to fit into the sockets of the CPU. So you have the LGA 1700 or the socket AM4. They're designed to fit perfectly the sockets of the CPU on the motherboard. You don't actually have AIOs for GPUs. What you can get are NTXT as a product. I think they call it the G15. It's sort of like a sleeve. So you have your GPU. I don't have any spare GPU at the moment. Asus GPU. Yeah, sorry, I don't have any spare GPU, but basically you have your GPU. What you're gonna do there is you're gonna remove the cooling element or the fans. Basically, parang a GPU has two parts, basically the boards or the chips, and then the cooling element, which the manufacturer customizes to make it more efficient and things like that. And you have the RGB on the side, maybe. So you're going to remove the cooling element, then you're going to stick the sleeve. Basically, the G15 is a sleeve which you insert your GPU into, and that allows NZXT AIOs to fit the where they need to fit the GPU. But they only work on very limited cards, and the G15 is rather old, so I don't know if it's been updated for the 3000 series card. So there aren't, and it's much more involved than installing a CPU AIO. You are still using a CPU AIO, but it's not as simple as here's the MOBO, put in the CPU, stick on or basically install the CPU block. You will be installing the block onto the GPU, but you'll need some way to secure it properly. And not all GPUs are designed the same way. Like this is the part you need cooled the most. Some have it here or wherever. So that's why sleeves like that, like the NZXT G15, are quite rare. I actually can't think of any comparable product from any other manufacturer. So it's very rare that you'll have AIOs used to cool GPUs. What you can do is to have custom liquid water cooling. So you have, and then that's a whole different story. Like yun talaga, you have GPU blocks for particular cards. Again, though, it's basically like a sleeve, and then you'll have custom liquid water cooling, where you have pipes running through your system to send coolant through there. So you wouldn't use an AIO for that. I bring up Humphrey's question though because I do get this somewhat regularly. Kasi people just assume na as kung may AIO para sa CPU, may AIO din para sa GPU. And it's kind of technically true. The CPU AIOs can be used to cool GPUs, but again, it's a very involved process. You don't see it used. You don't see that quite often. In fact, in the shop, we've never carried the G15, and we've never water cooled the GPU using an AIO. And neither custom. We've never also done custom liquid water cooling, which is actually something that we want to do in 2022. So stay tuned for the mess we're gonna make with that. I can just imagine the shop now, and I can just imagine the parts we're going to sacrifice kasi basa pala or nabasa pala and things like that. So stay tuned. That is one content we're gonna do, and a skill that we want to improve on or we want to upgrade in 2022. Agent Disaster and Anton Man Cave tour, please. Guaranteed 1 million views. I don't actually have a man cave. This is like the home office I have here in my house, and it's super messy. So, I really actually do have to apologize. I actually did angle the camera so you wouldn't see a lot of the mess. Pero, so this is the tour, fan, my poor broken down PC. I noticed Minor GPU is watching. Minor GPU actually has been instrumental in my upcoming upgrade um to a nicer PC in 2022. But I did realize that I can't build my PC yet because we're using the R7 3700X for our test bench for cheap thermal paste. So if Jericho's still watching you, you need to do those tests so that I can use the CPU for my personal build. So actually, that's one reason why that got postponed to maybe January. So there's really not much to the home office setup. I do film here now. Again, because I needed a nice backdrop space, and I just tried to make it easier on the eyes. A very old Razer phone, and two of these are my wife's. This is Raphael's. Before Lunar, oop, the Apollo astronaut fell down. So I'm a big Lego fan. So we have the uh, Apollo 11 lunar lander. Oh, and of course, big Star Wars fan. So this is one of the original Star Wars Ultimate Collector's Edition series. It's a TIE Interceptor. Squint, if you're familiar with the books. Um, this is I've had this world map in my room for since I was like a teenager. So this is like 15 years old. Every time I go to a new place, I get to put a pin in it. Travel has been down for the past 2 years, but I've been fortunate that we've I've been able to explore a bunch of different places, and so it all goes up on the map. I don't know if you can see it on the stream, but I do have it color coded. So blue is I've been to it at least twice. Yellow is only as a stopover, like in the airport, and red is at least once. So my last major trip before COVID hit, that was like 20 this uh like one of my last major trips before COVID hit was we actually got to do Machu Picchu in Peru. So there's Lima here. And actually we have a lot of footage for that we've been wanting to upload to the channel, but we never gotten around to editing it kasi ang daming footage nun. But Machu Picchu is a great experience. I'm not very athletic in real life, but the climb and everything was super worth it. So that probably will not generate a million views. I need to get a proper man cave. Okay. So I've been doing this test stream. Please ignore for the past 40 minutes. um, uh, the objectives have been met. I mean, it was supposed to be a test stream to see like one, would the connection be stable instead of piping OBS through Restream. If I just use the Restream Studio directly, yes, it seems quite stable. None of the cuts, none of the drops that I super hate doing, or I super hate experiencing when I stream from my house. The chat feature works quite well, and just to show you, Erwin Matic sub from YouTube. Erwin Matic ask, why is my mouse jumping all over the place? Yep. Ano specs na current rig nyo, Sir Anton? This guy, here we go again. Feature the monster. i5 4690K, so that's around 5 years old. I don't even know what motherboard. I don't know. I don't know what motherboard that would be. But this is a Gigabyte ultra durable mobile. And in fairness, when Gigabyte says ultra durable, it really is UD. I've never had to replace it. I have 12 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM. Bakit 12? Kasi actually it was 4 and 4 before, pero nasira yung isang stick, so I had to get a replacement stick, and I couldn't find one anymore. So 4 and 4, tinanggal ko yung isang 4, and then I put in an 8, so it became 12 gigabytes. So I am living proof that you can have different brands, different size of RAM, and the computer will still work. i5 4690K. But the only new thing about this computer is a 3080. So I did get a 3080. And yun nga, may advantage ba, my CPU is super old, but my graphics card is one of the latest. And it plays games quite well. So actually, I've done a video before where I say na, kung habol mo lang naman games, you can actually really toss your money towards a GPU. Yes, bottleneck siya, but it's better na the CPU is waiting for instructions from your GPU for gaming rather than vice versa. So yun nga, you'll see a quantum leap for your gaming if you keep your graphics card relatively up to date. And the CPU can take care of itself. I mean, I used this 5-year-old rig for a lot of things. I mean, 5 years ago we had not set up Hardware Sugar. We didn't have this YouTube channel or whatever. So I'm using this thing for a whole host of uses that I didn't think I would use it before. I use it for editing, streaming, of course, gaming when I still have time. So this old rig has served me quite well and is still serving me quite well even now kahit medyo luma na siya. i5 4690K. It's a Noctua cooler. I think it's a the NHU12S, I think actually. But again, Noctua, I haven't cleaned this thing in years, but it just keeps going. It cools so well. Noctua quality forever. You can just. I think Hans actually mentioned it in the chat a while back. Na yeah, Noctua is fire and forget, or basically install and forget. Na na once you put it in there, it's fine. I do have a video idea for five reasons how Noctua doesn't care or doesn't give a shit about the consumer. Hopefully, we'll get to that video sometime this year. Rocky the Programmer says that our editor Ren is now watching the stream, uh, and she is now complaining about the stream. And I apologize, Ren, if you're watching. This was supposed to be a test stream. I just wanted to see kung stable ba yung connection and kung kamusta yung featured chat feature. Pero parang maganda rin eh. Parang ganito na mag-stream permanently. Wag na yung mga layouts, wag na yung mga ano. Parang okay na to eh. But if joking aside, I did mention that you lose a lot of lose a lot of customization now that I can't use the OBS. And yun nga, I could pipe OBS through Restream Studio, but we gotta spend more money. Like that's another tier, and I really don't want to do that. Uh, um. Oh, we did have a question from Facebook. Jed, how do you play the ad sa Restream Studio? Is it a preloaded YouTube embed? No, you can actually upload. You tell Restream Studio like upload a local file and then you can upload it. Although what I can't quite figure out is let me show you. What I can't quite figure out is so if you upload it using ad source, so this is ad source here. Then you can put a video and then the video comes out here on the oh shit, sorry. It comes out here on the left side. So this is the ad source. But you can also have a video here. So under graphics. So here I am under graphics. You notice this would be a lot better in OBS. You'd be able to see my screen a lot better in OBS. Oh, baka I can add source. Teka. I can't. See, I can't add my screen as a source. So again, another advantage of OBS. But I can upload it as a graphic here, and then there's a video clip. Here, I'm gonna play this video clip. So there are two ways to have a video through Restream Studio. One as a source and one as a graphic. And I don't know which is better, to be honest. I'll have to figure it out. The 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 video as a graphic seems to be much smoother, pero yun nga, it's such a short clip, like only 2 seconds or something. Na I can't really tell how good that would be for a longer video. Jack Serrator, bad word demonetized. We don't make a lot of. I don't mind too much of the live streams. We don't actually make a lot. Or actually, parang they're auto. Yeah, we don't get a lot of money from the live streams. Although I do try to keep it. I'll just. I do try to keep my personal live streams very PG, and I try not to swear as much as possible. Although sometimes that's not really possible. Did I see Pesto in the chat? Ah, yes, sub Pesto. Pesto from YouTube. What's the disadvantage of using StreamYard instead of Restream besides the time limit per session for the free version? To be honest, I don't know because I've never used StreamYard. But I do like the pop-ups of stream elements. So like if somebody shares the stream via Facebook, if somebody comments or likes or things like that, I would like that to appear sana in the stream. If like somebody sends one of the YouTube members sends or one of the YouTube viewers sends a sticker and things like that, I'd like it to pop out on the screen, which you can do through OBS, but you can't do here, I think. So again, a downside of using Restream Studio. Here's West Lawyer. Sup, West Lawyer from YouTube. Okay, weird question from Facebook from Jervin. Ano kaya issue kapag every time na nag-open ako ng Windows setting, iba yung color saturation ng monitor ko, pero bumabalik din naman after ma-open yung settings? I have never experienced this, but I will take a screenshot right now so that we can use it on the next Pwede Magtanong. Man, I don't know what my mouse is so jittery. All right. Jervin, I do not know. Nothing comes to mind. I've never come across that. Like my initial thought, your monitor might be failing, but then if you're able to reset it to your color scheme, tapos it keeps the colors, I guess di naman failing yung monitor. Erwin Matic says, check your cables, try and replace. But then, I guess that's always good advice for a variety of situations. Erwin Matic is also asking, and you can see it now, courtesy of the featured comment, ano ISP nyo, Sir Anton, speed? Converge the 2.5 plan, 2,500 a month. So that's fiber, 25 Mbps ata. Let me check. Open up my email where Converge bills me every month, and plan is, it should say the plan on the Fiber X 2,500, 100 Mbps pala. Yeah. A bit expensive, I know, but I like, we do so much on the internet, and there are, my wife is a lawyer as well. She has a lot of online meetings, so it's very important for us to have reliable internet. Which is why I was so annoyed na palagi napuputol yung mga streams ko. Kung ginamit ko yung OBS, tapos ipapadaan ko sa Restream. Inis na inis talaga ako na palagi napuputol yung mga streams. Which is the primary reason, or one of the primary reasons why I decided to try piping it through Restream Studio, which seems to be doing the job now. Yes, Pesto. I think they upgraded it. Converge is good about automatically upgrading the plans, unlike some other ISPs where you need to ask them na, uy, nag-upgrade na pala kayo. Can you also upgrade my plan? Lance, thoughts on the upcoming Star Wars game? Is this a mobile one? Oop, mosquito. Oop, got it. Definitely test stream. Mosquito running around. Lance, if you're talking about the upcoming mobile game, I think, or it's kind of like a battle royale type of game, I think. I saw the trailer. Man, mosquito. I saw the trailer. I don't really have a lot of thoughts on about it because I don't really play that kind of game. I like the Star Wars games, either Space Sim, so like the X-Wing. Star Wars Squadrons. It was the latest Space Sim, the Star Wars. Or yung tipong Jedi Knight type. Those are the kind of Star Wars games I like playing. The PC or PS5 one. Which is that? Is there a new shooter coming out? I'm not too up to date. To be honest, I try not to watch a lot of the upcoming game trailers para I just don't get too hyped. Parang surprise na lang na, lumabas na pala yung so-and-so game, and I'm interested in that. Oh, wait, Erwin Matic says, something about ISP. Teka. Erwin Matic says, I came from 1,500 subscription from Converge and upgraded to 200, 2,000, and now I get 300 Mbps. Oh, hey, what's up, Converge? I just said on stream that Converge is one of the good ones that they update you automatically. You're getting 300? Gosh darn it. Teka. I'm gonna go back and I'm just gonna confirm na I'm only getting, my plan is only 100. Yeah. My plan is fiber 1,500, 100 Mbps. And you're saying you get, for the same amount, you're getting triple my speed? Okay. Thank you for the tip. I am definitely gonna call them pagdating nung Jan 3. Or maybe I'll email them. What the hey, Converge? Okay. No good shout out for you. Mark Lewis, Book of Boba Fett is also out. Yes. I do quite enjoy The Mandalorian. Although to be honest, I'm a bit on the fence about this recasting. Not recasting. I know that they used the Boba Fett from the prequels. But I mean, what I mean by recasting is recasting Boba Fett as kind of a likable, kind of anti-hero. Because Boba Fett in the original series is kind of like a really bad dude. But then in The Mandalorian, medyo they kind of softened him. Like this one scene talaga I remember parang he's saying something like, "Okay, you gave me back my armor, therefore I will help you on your quest." When he's talking to Mando about helping Mando get back the kid. And I'm like, first of all, that's really Boba Fett's armor. Why would Boba Fett like say na, "Okay, tinulungan mo ako, binalik mo yung armor ko, tutulungan din kita." Pucha, armor mo yan eh. The original Boba Fett, I feel from the original trilogy would be like, "Hells to you, man. I'm gonna get my flamethrower. I'm gonna burn you to a crisp. You wanna be Mandalorian. I'm gonna get my armor back, and then I'm gonna go on my merry way in Slave One." So the whole motivation and the whole link how they got Boba Fett, working in the Mandalorian series, kind of doesn't ring true for me. I also and even the ship name Slave One became problematic. So he has to have a new ship now. Everybody's so politically correct now. So you're not going to see Slave One a lot anymore. I won't spoil it for anyone, but he does. He has to have a more politically correct name now. So again, just in general, I'm kind of on the fence on the how Boba Fett is being kind of rejiggered. The character is to fit like to be the anti-hero in a modern series now. I kind of liked him better when he was stone cold. Like the bounty hunter and even his origins in the original one. He gets his dad. He sees his dad killed by the Jedi, specifically by Mace Windu, and basically execution style. So, that's gotta leave a mark, and he's gotta be bitter. And I feel that they're kind of softening him up in to make him palatable to a modern audience. But that said, I have not watched any episodes of Boba Fett. So, well, to make him palatable and for Disney to recoup its money that they paid LucasArts, to buy LucasArts. So, it's a machine. They got to churn it out. They saw, oh, Boba Fett's a popular character. So yeah, let's rework him to kind of be acceptable in the modern era. But I do miss the kind of stone cold Boba Fett. Again, it's kind of weird, yeah, yung parang tutulungan kita, binalik mo yung armor mo sa akin, it was my armor, but you gave it back to me. God damn it, the original Boba Fett, I feel wouldn't really have done that. But all that being said, I will still watch the series, because it's Star Wars. Sup, David Ko? Good evening from Facebook. Bobby from YouTube, ano price ng Ryzen 3200G? We don't carry that anymore. We only have the 5000 series at this currently. Will we be carrying the 3000 series again? Maybe not. We do try. We're kind of enthusiast oriented, so we usually stick to the current series. Although I am still quite open to carrying again the 3000 series if we do get to see better prices on them. Sup, David Ko from Facebook. I found I saw a Battletech question. Jack the Rater. Yes, is Timberwolf PPCs? Yes, so you have the two PPCs here and then the two LRM racks here. So it's the standard OmniMech. I think it's the default configuration for this particular OmniMech. Although if you're a Battletech fan, you know that the whole point of the OmniMech class of mechs is that it's very easy to rejigger their configuration compared to the standard mech still used by the Inner Sphere, where you can't really configure them on the fly. Yes, Star Wars Eclipse. I did see the trailer of that as well. That's a new game you're talking about, na parang RPG type. I saw the trailer. The trailer gets me excited, pero yun nga, I don't know anything about it. I hope it's in the same vein as KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic. Such a very old game, but if you're a Star Wars fan, never mind the dated graphics, but you should really definitely check out KOTOR. A lot of the mythos that they developed in KOTOR is carried on in the current series and the current shows. I think, like, if I remember correctly, the whole concept of building your lightsaber and finding a crystal that you feel a connection with is from KOTOR. That's the first time I remember seeing it. I also read a lot of the Star Wars books because because big nerd, as, as you can tell by the stuff in the background and the foreground. So I actually have read a lot of the expanded. Now they call it, before it was expanded universe. Now they call it Legends because hindi na sila canon. But I read a lot of the Star Wars books. Um, the act of finding, like, as a Padawan, and you find a crystal that you feel a connection with, and then that you assemble um your lightsaber, I think comes from KOTOR. And then the first show that used it was Gen D's Clone Wars, not the CGI Clone Wars, but Gen D Tarkovsky's Clone Wars, which again is a classic series. That series is so good. Um, if you're a Star Wars fan, you should check that out. Um, uh, um, so I think the that whole concept of using the crystal and then fashioning your lightsaber from it started in KOTOR, picked up by Gen D's Clone Wars, and there's a beautiful scene there in the ice caves of whatever planet na it's the Padawans finding their crystals, and then you have Yoda, I think, as well, if I remember the episode correctly. So KOTOR is a great Star Wars game. I hope Eclipse is something like that. Humphrey from YouTube says, nag-add to cart na ako ng thermal paste. Waiting na lang ako sa video bago mag-check out kasi I'm using the GD900 at the moment. Yeah, we're gonna do a video on the cheapest thermal paste that we could find. One of them is like 20 pesos, and okay ba sila? I don't want to spoil the, and we're sort of 50% done with the data gathering, but I wanted to push it some more. So we're gonna overclock the 3700X, and then we're gonna see, like, kung kaya ba nung thermal paste, yung cheap thermal paste, yung overclock. So and then once we gather that data, we can do the video. Pesto. Actually, I haven't. There's so many shows on my list that I haven't started watching Halt and Catch Fire yet. But I can watch it on Netflix thanks to the hardware VPN, which I recommended, which I reviewed, and I do recommend because it is quite amazing what that small Pico, the Deeper Connect. Yeah, I think that's what they call it, the Deeper Connect network Pico, I think, or something. But yeah, that hardware VPN is amazing. Halt and Catch Fire is a Netflix US exclusive, but I can watch it here in the Philippines thanks to that. It is on my list, but I have not gotten around to it yet. To be honest, I finished watching Hawkeye. My wife and I watched that, and then just last night I slept at 3 a.m. because I watched the latest James Bond, yung um, what? No Time to Die. No Time to Die. Yep. Cyril, you guys gonna do best budget 144 hertz monitors? That would be interesting. Although we would have to buy the monitors, and I'm cheap AF. I guess you could ask HKC if they'd send us one over. But we'd have to coordinate with the brands. Although I don't really like doing that. Maybe we might just buy it nga outright. We'll see. We'll see. That is a good video topic though. David, is that available here in the Philippines? I think you're talking about the Pico. No, it's not. But the video does have a link where you can go to get further information. I think it's also um, maybe I don't quite know actually how deeper connect is marketing, or how you can buy it. Yes, I think we can still get so all the suppliers are closed now. Hardware Sugar is also closed. We come back Jan 2, which is Sunday. But yeah, I think we don't have this particular AIO in stock, the NZXT Kraken X53 RGB. But yes, I think we can still get it from our supplier. Josan from Facebook asks, I plan to build my dream PC. Pwede po ba sa inyo? Yes, we are a full service PC shop. So yeah, we have the parts, we can assemble it. Assembly is free if the majority of the parts are from us. Even if we don't have them, sometimes we can custom order them. So yes, definitely. And this is the kind of like the confusion. Like if you see us on YouTube, some people just think we're a tech oriented YouTube channel, but actually we're a shop first and then a YouTube. But a lot of that integrates well the shop and the YouTube because the stock we get in the shop, we can also feature it on the YouTube channel and things like that. So it's been quite good integrating everything. Pero yun nga, sometimes people get confused. They see us on YouTube and then nagugulat sila na, oh, you sell parts pala. Oh, you have a shop pala. Oh, you assemble pala. But yes, we are actually primarily a shop first before anything else. Um, Humphrey asks, are you open to franchises? No, just because in general, we're very obsessed about keeping the brand. So if ever we would be the ones to expand like directly to Visayas and Mindanao. But to be honest, our medium-term plans, maybe God willing, in the next 5 years or so, to put up a flagship store in the south, sa may Laguna. So that services the south area, like Cavite, maybe the folks in Alabang, yung medyo malapit doon, Muntinlupa. And it'll be a flagship store in the sense na sobrang laki niya, ta sobrang ganda niya. Like you'll want to come over just to see everything kasi lahat bukas. So all of the monitors that we have on display, all of the cases. So may pagka micro center yung dating but more interactive. And so that's why we need it also in Cavite kasi we don't sobrang mahal na dito sa Metro Manila. So we want to buy the land, put up a really decent flagship store where even if you're not gonna buy, you just want to come over to take a look and see like the latest in action, parang ganon. So that is that's a pipe dream. That's sort of like our pie in the sky. Sana mangyari like if business really super does well. That's what like 5 years from now. That's what I would want. And then a flagship store in the north, sa may Bulacan to service those areas. And then maybe upgrade the store here in Metro Manila. Maybe one in Makati, maybe one in QC. And then after we have those 4 stores, that's the only time I might consider expanding to the Visayas and Mindanao. But that's medyo matagal-tagal pa yun. But God willing, yun nga, again, we're never short of ambition and plans here at Hardware Sugar. That's what I would like sana. The first step is getting land in the south, putting up the flagship store, maybe in 5 years or so. But even now, like we're only 3 years old. There's been a lot of improvement. If you go to our YouTube channel, you can see where like yung lumang videos na yung unang shop talaga namin sobrang liit, sobrang liit. And we only had one tech guy, Gerald. We expanded to Giho, which was quite large, and I thought, wow, this gonna serve us for a while. 2 years after that, we've expanded to an even larger place, sa may Chino Roses. And we actually have 3 tech staff now. It's Gerald, Jay, and Jericho. And Rocky the programmer helps out a lot also. So there's been a lot of growth for Hardware Sugar the past 3 years. I know, right? No, I'm used just reacting to the comments, but now I can actually show it. Arithmetic. I know I didn't intend for this stream to go on so long. Usually for my personal streams, like I have water here para I can di ako naubusan ng saliva. And that's legit, man. That's it's 7 o'clock already. Oh, we need to start eating soon. That is a legit concern. I for those of you who don't know, I used to teach English before at university, and like that those are 50-minute classes. And nung baguhan pa akong lecturer, talagang sobrang like my throat was super dry after lecturing. But after like a semester, sanay ka na and you can keep going talking. Pero nawala na, hindi na ako sanay sa ganun eh. So I really do get thirsty after a while. Um, just two chats na lang. Cyril, Hardware Sugar Worldwide. Even I think we're kind of ambitious, but even I don't have those ambitions. But maybe to Indonesia, maybe Asian countries that are sort of like the Philippines. I think we can make an impact there. There's this really good store in Vietnam na parang sobrang ganda ng YouTube nila. Tas yun nga parang gamer-oriented, very quality. And we're actually kind of behind in the Philippines in terms of PC shops na yung maganda talaga. Sanay kasi tayo sa Gilmore setup na sobrang sikip. Wala silang paki sa YouTube nila. Wala silang masyadong paki sa showing the customer na cool tong item na to kasi ganito. Then they'll actually show the item in the store. We're kind of behind on that front. Vietnam is a very good example of stores like that. And that's kind of like what I want na for us here in the Philippines for Hardware Sugar specifically. Um, Luigi from YouTube, naging totoong stream na. I know, right? This was supposed to be just a test stream, but everything just worked so well. Parang, so tinuloy-tuloy ko na lang. And then maybe I'll just tell the sponsor na this was the stream. I mean, look, I played the ad like twice, and yeah, it worked out well. So uh, it is 7 o'clock, so I want to thank you guys for joining me on this test stream. Please ignore, but you guys did not ignore. Uh, I, to be honest, I did not clickbait that. I really didn't expect people. I wasn't expecting this to run this long and to have people come in and chat. But since nandiyan na kayo, and to be honest, nakakainganyo eh. Like when you see people in the chat and you're replying to them, which is so much easier now thanks to the embedded featured chatting of Restream Studio. But we have accomplished all of the goals. The stream is very stable. It never cut out. The featured chat works. The integrated chat works. So yun. Although I don't love the sizing of this. I wish we could go 1080p, but Restream need to give more money to Restream. The chat is too big for my personal preference, although it is quite useful for at least nababasa ninyo. So that's an upside. Um, this was a test stream. I don't usually have the camera there in the corner. Usually I have somewhere around here, so kita yung background there, and then usually I clean that stuff up. But again, this test stream became like a regular stream. So yun. This is probably the last stream of 2021. I'll just move to Jan 2022, the stream on best upcoming tech for 2022. So I want to thank everybody for joining us, joining our videos here sa Hardware Sugar. Thanks for the subs, thanks for the likes. Thank you for buying from the shop, most important of all. That is the most important. Yung nga, hindi ko naman ambition maging content creator, whatever the heck that is. Yung gusto ko talaga, a cool shop for cool people, a cool shop that can provide cool parts. And primarily that's done by building builds, having customers come in, buying our items. So the YouTube channel is a big help for that, no question. But really at the end of the day, we're a shop that wants to make cool parts for available to cool people, and we have a lot of plans, whether it's expanding our current store or putting up a flagship store somewhere in the south or wherever. And YouTube is a big help to that, but it's also primarily like the shop is the primary engine for that kind of progress. So thank you all so much for watching, for subscribing. Um, if there's one thing I don't take for granted, it's the level of support talaga. I really appreciate it, guys. Sa totoo lang, the subscribers, the comments, um, the shares, the likes. It's been so good for the shop because we are a small business. We don't have a lot of money for marketing. And it's really nice to see regular names in the chat, like David, like Luigi, Revin Jan. Sup, Angelo, from YouTube, although I'm about to end the stream. um, Lance also, Christian Espinosa. Thank you so much for for being a YouTube member. So it's nice to see regular names in the chat. If there's one thing I don't take for granted, it is the level of support that you guys give us on social social media. um Please don't cry. I will try to keep my shit together on stream. That's we're not that kind of content creator, like, oh god, look at me feelings. But thanks so much for the support. This is the last live stream of 2021. Stay safe. The numbers are going up again. Have a good new year, and yun, catch you on the flip side of 2022. Like, I don't even know how to end the stream kasi iba yung button dito. I do kind of miss OBS. But yun, thanks for watching.